Welcome, beautiful souls. I'm going to talk through today why you don't chase the relationship, why you don't chase actually anything, including your purpose, your friends, your family, any of it. We're going to step out of that chasing energy. That's what this journey is ultimately all about, and it's to bring you back to your core essence, where you magnetize everything into your field. So welcome to my channel. If you resonate with my content, I'd be very grateful if you would like and subscribe. So somebody put a comment up, and this is a very, very common thing. We all go through this process where they're trying to understand what the physical world, I'm not even going to say 3D, but the physical world relationship looks like. And that is your chasing energy. Because what you're sending out through those questions, and it's normal to go through this. It is very, very normal. We all go through it. What you're coming into remembrance of is that you are already in union. You don't chase it. You don't chase the relationship. You don't try and figure out what it's going to look like, who's going to be doing what in the connection, because all of that's all mind energy, and you're polarized at the mind with your physical twin flame. You are one consciousness. You don't need to go in and try and figure that stuff out, because they're you in another body and they act out what's in the subconscious. All you've got to do is actually come into a remembrance of who you are, which the soul is taking you through, which I will talk further about. But just know that they know all about you. Like, you don't need to figure this stuff out. This is a journey of purification first, right? So we meet this other body, however that happens for you. You get a Kundalini activation. You are going through an awakening process, and this is why you can't make this about a relationship, because it's so much bigger. And the mind, I get it. I totally get it. I've been there, but the mind wants to make this about something that it's not. It's about you coming back into the full expression of who you are. It's about you looking at all those shadow parts and integrating them and realizing that you are not those things, but you have unconditional love for all those experiences that you've gone through. It's about the merge of your two inner polarities, your masculine and feminine energies, coming back into one and working in unison, as opposed to working in competition with each other. So that Kundalini activation happens for a reason. It happens because you need to get connected up to the divine to fully awaken and remember you are the soul, that you are not this human. This is just a borrowed suit that you have. So the Kundalini energy activation happens. It's going to work its way up the chakras. You don't need to do anything about it. It's an intelligent system. It knows what it's got to do. You've just got to allow yourself to breathe through that process. And it's not a quick process. I want to get really clear on that. There is a lot of density. And everything's happening at an energetic level. So the spiritual masculine, or the higher masculine for many, will come in energetically at very early on in this process and help you clear out the lower chakras, or that hot and heavy sexual energy, because we don't know what sacred sexuality is until you've experienced it. And so intimacy, or sex, or whatever you want to call it, has been all in the lower chakras. Sacred sexuality is all of the chakras. It's completely different experience. So I'm just going to refer to he as the high masculine. He will come in and help clear it out, essentially. And we all know that energy is pretty full on. The energy is going to work, the Shakti energy, right? Because when you first meet your masculine, he's got codes. And remember, this is not gender specific, but I'm just going to use he and she. He's got codes that activate to get the Shakti energy awake, to get that Kundalini moving. And that's when the journey really starts. The oscillations, the ego death, the purification. And, every journey is different. And that's why you can't make this about a physical relationship, because you're going through a Kundalini awakening. You're not likely to have this with, Joe Blogs around the corner. This is something very, very different. And so you just cannot put them in the same category. you are going through a massive awakening. And it happens to the masculine counterpart in the physical as well. They also go through an awakening, and everyone that says that they don't, well, that's not my experience. And I work with many, many people around the world, and I have my own masculine, and they go through it as well. It just looks really different, but they get a Kundalini activation just like we do. So we lead this as the feminine polarity. The feminine principle always leads, okay? It's got nothing to do with gender. It is just the principles of gender. You can go and look it up on the 7 Hermetic Principles. I talk about this in my Energy Essentials mini course that I've got. The feminine polarity energetically leads. She is the creator. This is where your powerhouse sits, by the way. You're the creator. So that energy moves up, and you'll feel it, and it's like when it comes up out through the crown, it's like a lotus flower. It's incredible. It just feels phenomenal. But that is a process for some of us. Like for me, my crown, third eye, everything got blasted open with pretty quickly within a few weeks. But that doesn't mean that all my chakras are purified, by the way. It just means the energy just shot right up. And I remember it happened the day I met my twin. It shot right up my spine the minute he touched my back. And it just, this energy just went right up my spine. You know, this does not happen on a normal dating situation. And so that's, yeah, you're going to go through a process. And what that process is it's clearing out all the distortion within the soul so the soul can ascend. And that means all old karmic pattern cycles. It means the ego's got to fall away. It's not going to completely fall away, but you're going to learn through this journey to put the ego in the back seat and strap it in. And so that the soul can start leading and not the ego. Whereas before, the ego was running the show. And, you know, that's why we have this huge mind activation, that obsessive energy. That mind activation is to teach you to get out of the mind. You're not the mind. You know, this is such a profound process that you're going through. And if you are not experiencing any of this stuff, then you're not on a twin flame journey. Don't go looking for your twin flame. You don't need to search. They will just rock up when your soul is ready. It's got nothing to do with romantic love at this point. It's about clearing out the chakra system. And as you move through this journey, what happens when you're in a union, what happens is you'll get the opposite will start to happen. You'll get a womb activation. And that is when everything's very purified. It's undeniable. The high masculine will come back in. Now, for some people on this journey, the twins actually come in and out of their life, and there will be intimacy on that path. That is fine. What am I trying to say? That is what happens for some, not for all. Do not worry. Your ego will go, oh, but I wish that could happen for me. It's not what your soul's organized for you. So you will know what's in your highest good, because for some that would be incredibly triggering, whereas for others it's incredibly healing. And that's why a lot of twins also do a lot of the work in the 5D, because that's where they do all their healing. It's a very safe place to start to learn and embody and ground yourself. So neither one is better or worse. It's just what's set up for your soul. So it's important to just understand that, yes, the masculine is potentially going to come in and out of your life, and it's incredibly frustrating. I personally would not be engaging with them if they're in a third-party connection, because that's your fear-based energy. You need to let that go and just really tune in and focus in on yourself. You're choosing union through the embodiment of the work you do on yourself. And then you'll come into this place, and everything is a process, right? I've done the 7 stages. I will link that playlist into the comments section, but you will come in and out of those stages, and it's not linear, right? So you will dip in and out of different, these are just stages that I resonated with. But the womb activation is when you're really in a union, and you will feel your higher masculine descending down into your energy field as the feminine energy, polarity, you want to just relax in. Now, that womb activation is not gender specific, by the way. It happens for the men as well. Okay, so it's got nothing to do with what your bits are. It's to do with the chakra in that space. And it's getting you prepared energetically for sacred sexuality. And you will feel it. It's a beautiful, beautiful part of the journey. You really do come into this place where you're just very zen, you're very balanced, you're feeling amazing. Your physical life is now in alignment. You will notice things in your life. If you've still got a lot of chaotic stuff happening in your physical life, then there's still old timelines that need to come out, to play out. So that's why the more you can just tune into your soul and actually go, what are the lessons? What is the lessons in this relationship? What is the lessons? And you're not moving out of a relationship, by the way, to get your twin flame. I want to get super clear on that. You move out of a relationship because you've had the growth out of it from a soul perspective. It's got nothing to do with the twin. Okay? But the sooner you tune into what is the soul lesson instead of tuning into the fear, because I can tell you, from the very beginning, I knew at a soul, my intuition knew, abort mission, Kathleen. And I was like 19 at the time, but I aborted mission 27 years later. Tune into your soul. Okay? That's my number one tip. Tune into your soul and just, tune in. No one can tell you what to do. This is where the free will kicks in, but you want to tune in and listen to your instincts, because that is a soul aligned living. That's what you're moving back to, so that you can tune in and you just have this knowing, and you just know you should or should not. But the programming keeps us in the, we'll just keep going, right? But actually you want to tune in and really, slow yourself down and hear the whispers of your soul. That's where your higher self is trying to connect in with you. Now, as you're coming into inner union and you stabilize it, what's happening there is that energy, the higher masculine is starting to descend into your energy field. It's really important to just lean back, soften. The feminine polarity creates the safe landing space, but you create it for yourself first, by the way. And you will just know, like your soul will be, you'll just know, like the soul is guiding you. You just get this, like, I've got to go and, I don't know, clean all the clothes out of my house. I need to go and sort some stuff out over here. You'll just know when to do things, because your soul is dropping all these little nudges into your consciousness, right? It's doing exactly the same thing for the physical masculine as well, by the way. All the synchronicities, all that kind of stuff. But by the time you're in inner union, you are actually you're really centered on yourself. You're just in love with the process. You're really in love with this whole womb activation and what's going on there, because you feel divine. You really, really feel incredible. You've gone through that whole Kundalini process. It's, all that distortion's cleaned out of the soul. You're not really getting triggered. And if you do, it's pretty minor and you can clean it up pretty quick. You really are feeling very centered. And it's in this space where you realize, I never needed to be bothered about the relationship, which is where I'm going to circle back to. I never needed to focus on those things, because this journey is about you coming into your magnetic energy. It's about you stepping fully into the embodiment of who you are and knowing that you don't chase. The less I do, and I call doing chasing energy, and just be in my beautiful frequency. And I still do things. I record YouTubes, I work with clients, I attempt social media. I say attempt because it's not my fun thing to do. But anyway, I just be in my frequency. My energy attracts and draws everything into me. I don't need to chase. I don't need to figure out what things are going to look like in the physical world with anything. I'm really just in this energy of, I know I'm fully supported. My soul is leading this. everything's just happening as it's meant to. And it's beautiful. And you don't need to worry about the physical relationship aspect of this, because your masculine is you, and he already knows exactly what you desire. So this post that was put up there was trying to figure out, does it mean that they pay for all the dates and all this kind of stuff? Let it go. You don't need to worry about that stuff, because that is chasing, that is your fear-based energy trying to figure this journey out, and your focus is on the relationship. Your focus needs to be on the relationship with self. It needs to be coming back into, actually, what do I desire? Not what they desire or not what anyone else desires. What do I desire? What do I love? What gets me excited? How do I like to dress? How do I like to show up in the world? That's the bit that's missing on this planet that this journey is bringing back, where it's about, do you know how incredible you feel when you just feel so in your frame and in your field? You feel like a goddess. You feel amazing. You feel phenomenal. And everybody just wants to do things for you. It's kind of weird. You'll have people falling all over you. You'll have people doing random things. You're also learning that you are the master creator, right? So however you want your masculine to show up in the physical world is how you treat yourself, because you're the feminine energy. You create, right? You create from very stable energy, and it's not the mind. It's how you embody yourself, how you hold yourself, how you have learnt to really love self and just be in awe of your own transformation, your own spiritual growth, your own, just the way that you're vibing and living life and how you're showing up in the world. That is magnetic energy. And let me tell you, your masculine cannot stay away. So, because they are the exact same frequency as you. They're the same vibration as you, right? Same soul signature. So they just need, the physical world needs to catch up, because when the feminine polarity is really anchored in a union and you've stabilized, right? Because everything happens at an energetic level first. The feminine polarity works in the quantum field. And if you're really tuned in, you will know exactly what's going on. And you're anchored in that timeline, and you're not playing out these old energies of you anymore. What happens is, for the masculine, everything starts rearranging energetically. That's what happens with the universe. This is how life starts to suddenly, all things start to just flow into you, and they're just one of it. But their physical world also needs to dismantle. That's why you'll see this delay. So if you're in this energy, what I would encourage you is just keep tuning in, keep anchoring in, and know that what you're creating as the feminine polarity is a very stable, harmonious lifestyle, which includes abundance. It includes friendships. It includes a more balanced place with your family, the twin, your purpose, your job, whatever it looks like. You're creating something so incredibly stable within you that you're not going to be tipped over anymore. That is what this journey is about. So I know it's hard because the mind wants to figure stuff out, because that's the programming. This is where you've got to release the programming. This is what I help people with every single day through my community group, through the Ascension to Union Masterclass, or if you're further along the journey, the Union Code is really designed for that. Whereas the Ascension to Union Masterclass is all, I talk a lot about the purification, the Kundalini. I'm actually going to be adding more content in there, just because, as I've moved through my own journey, my consciousness has expanded. So do not panic, do not worry. Your soul has got this. Your job is to get out of the mind, get out of trying to figure this journey out. I know it's hard, and that in itself is a process. And just know that you're being taken on a really stunning journey, and it's, you embody union. It's a remembrance of, oh, that's who I am. That's right. I don't chase nobody. I don't chase anything. I don't chase clients. I don't chase jobs. I attract, and it comes to me. I magnetize in. And it's a stunning process. It's bloody awful at the beginning, there's no doubt about that, but it does get better, and it just gets better and better and better and better. So just remember what this journey is about. It's about you coming into your own divine sovereign self, and then learning that you magnetize everything towards you. You don't need to figure anything out here. Anyway, if this resonates with you, please like and subscribe, and thank you for listening. Sending so much love.